Okay, gotcha.
All right, we are live.
Hey, everybody. You are in the ring with Christine, and we are on Knockouts with Nika. Thank you, Nika, for hosting the show, Women Crushing It Wednesday. We got Tracy in the house.
I'm in
So
the
as you
house.
in the house. So as you know, I'm in Japan, so it's like we're like doing the best we can to keep the show going because we think it's doing really well, and we're getting a lot of good responses. I mean, maybe we're getting some bad ones too. I don't know. I haven't seen any, and I don't want to see any. But
We don't care about
anyway,
that.
regardless. So Nika, introduce yourself to everybody on your page as if they don't know who you are. But we're gonna get some new viewers, so they may not know who you are. Tell everybody who
I'm
you
gonna
are and what you do, girl.
um I don't know, you know what? I don't I'm looking at the YouTube screen and I see my screen is black. So
I see you
I'm
now.
gonna okay, see that's weird.
I
Let's
know,
see.
but
I'm
you're
looking at
golden.
the yeah, that was my sister trying to extend the internet and she
Oh, gotcha,
screwed it
gotcha.
up for a second.
Mm.
Well, we can
Um
go with Tracy.
all right.
Tracy, introduce yourself.
My name is
Yeah,
Tracy.
so,
And I am Boxer Girl on every social media platform.
Tiara.
There is Tiara. You can find me everywhere on everywhere, and here I am, and we're gonna talk some shit. So let's go.
Ooh. Oh, you got some stuff on your mind. And Tiara,
I
thank you for
do.
joining us today. Introduce yourself to all the viewers.
Hello everyone. I'm Tiara Brown. Let's see. I think so how much should I say? I'm a professional
Whatever you
fighter.
want. Whatever you
Uh,
want to
t-
say.
I was an amateur fighter for Team USA,
okay, that's
world gold medalist. Now I'm a professional fighter, 10-0, 6 knockouts,
let's go.
and I'm also a public servant. So I think that pretty much sums up who I am.
So you
That's
have
badass.
exciting news though, because you start something new, right? On is it Tuesday, or why don't you tell us what that is?
Tomorrow.
Something.
Tomorrow. Okay. So what is that? What are you doing tomorrow?
So tomorrow I start my new job with the Fort Myers Police Department. I was a police
Ooh.
officer in Washington, D.C. for almost 6 years,
Ooh.
and I moved back home to Florida. So now I start my new job with the Fort Myers Police Department tomorrow.
Nice.
Congratulations.
That's badass.
Congratulations.
Especially being a
Thank you.
cop in DC. I lived there for a little bit, and it was like, woo.
Yeah.
You were doing some with the USA boxing? I missed it. You
Yeah,
were
that's
you
Nika.
coaching? You were coaching or
Oh,
you were
like last
doing
week or 2 weeks
yeah,
ago?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm also the assistant coach for the
Coach,
Police
yes.
Athletic League,
Oh,
Yes.
and
wow.
I took the kids to the Junior Olympics. It was great. It was awesome.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So I have to ask you, okay, so you've been in the ring, you know what it is, to compete on very high levels in the pro ranks and everything else. How different, or was it different, to be on the outside and instructing these young, amazing fighters that come into your gym? Tell me what the difference is.
I'm not even gonna lie. I thought I was having a panic attack. I was so nervous. And it's like, it's funny because I've been boxing for 19 years. I don't even get nervous when I fight. I don't. Like, I haven't got nervous since I turned professional, and when my kids were fighting, walking out with them, I was like pumping myself up. I felt like I'm
Oh,
bouncing
wow.
up and down, like I'm getting ready to get in there and fight. Like I was just coaching them. It's because, and I think it's because I had no control over
Yes,
the fight. I
yes,
had no
Oh,
control over what happened. All I could
yes.
do was instruct and hope that they listen.
Yeah, and it's like you're like, oh my gosh, did I tell them enough? Did I do enough? How was the mix that we did? Like the warm up. It's like you start thinking about all those things. Are they prepared
Yeah,
enough? Because ultimately, it falls on you too. As a
yeah.
coach, it's not just the fighter. They're like, oh, the coach. Well, maybe the coach didn't do this or that, and
Right.
so you
Yep.
start thinking about
Exactly.
all those things. So I get it. Trust me, I totally get it. So Nika had a little bit of a hi Lee. Nika had a little bit of technical difficulties earlier. Now we see you perfectly clear. So
Yeah.
you have to tell Tiara who you are and everybody else that doesn't
Yes,
know who you are and
yes.
what you do.
Okay, so I'm just a boxing fan, y'all. I'm just a
Very
That's
boxing
important.
fan.
important. That is
Yeah,
important.
but I love boxing and I'm like a new YouTuber, so I have this platform now, Knockouts with Nika, and I started this new thing which is called Boxing Versus, which is kind of like really shaking up Twitter world.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
what it
we
is
definitely got
just
to talk
like,
about that.
you know, boxing fans just debating each other for like 3 rounds, and then I had last night I had like 3 judges to score the cards for each round, and so I've been doing that, so it's been fun lately. So yeah, it's just a boxing fan, so don't come and there's some
There's
people
no
out there who
just
think I'm trying
nothing,
to be a
girl.
real promoter
Yeah, it's
and
no,
all this
no.
stuff,
I mean,
and
but
it's like,
hey, you're important though. You're important. Don't
Very, and
don't sell
she's
yourself
smart.
short.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Right. She
You
knows
know
her
what, you're
stuff
right,
too.
you're right, you
Yeah,
are
yeah. Don't
definitely
sell
Yes.
right.
yourself short. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Damn
Nope.
right.
Absolutely. Tracy, tell Tiara who you are. I know you told everybody else already, but she didn't get to hear your spiel.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so I am Boxer Girl. I have been on and off working with fighters in Chicago for about 12 years. So I initially started sponsoring fighters on the South Side because a lot of fighters were young kids coming off the street and they didn't have things that they needed. So I would buy shoes or gloves or things like that
Or
that the fighters needed, and then I just kind of escalated from there. It just like everything took off where I started. I did a show with G Style 9 years ago, and then I started working with the professional fighter King David Estrada, and he took me under his wing and basically showed me life in boxing, behind the scenes, everything. It's a crazy world.
Yeah, it is.
So,
don't
yeah,
we know?
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't we
So,
know?
yeah. And then I wanted to manage a fighter and I had one, and then some things happened and I had to let him go. So then I kind of walked away from boxing, and then I was like, no, I can't. It's like a passion. So I went back on Twitter, started on Twitter again, and then D Style's like, where have you been? And then we just linked up, and then and then Christine saw me, and here I am.
Yeah, as everybody knows, it's like, I thought, why not? A bunch of women talking boxing. It's like we all
Yep.
have our everyday grind that we do. And
Yep.
it's like this is our time to like chill, talk about whatever we want to talk about. We don't always have to follow agenda. We just do what we want to do. This is our show for ladies, and I'm so glad that Tiara gets to join us today.
Yeah.
It's like such a pleasure and an honor, and she gets to see what we do.
Well, it's my
Yeah.
pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's always my pleasure.
Yeah, I saw you when you were in Chicago with
Jessica and Rick.
yes, thank you. Thank you. I was
I
like,
like Chicago. It's nice.
yeah. It's nice. It is.
It's nice. It's nice in Chicago.
Yeah.
She's like,
It has its problems. It's just,
Well, don't forget, I lived in DC for 10 years. So, hey.
yes, this is correct. Yeah. DC was like crazy. Like one street was like perfect. The next street is like,
Yeah.
you could get caught in a drive-by. I was like, wow,
Yep.
this is crazy.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
And then there's the White House.
Right?
And then you've got the White House in the distance. It's
That's
like
funny.
that is insane to me. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, this is crazy. So, but that's
Nika, I wanna talk about your show because I had to watch it late because I am literally like today's Thursday and it's like almost.
And what time is it over there now?
It's 9:40
Friday.
a.m.
AM
Yeah,
on
and it's
Friday, yeah.
Thursday.
damn.
Right.
Right. So I always have to like catch up on things, and it's like when y'all are like being constructive and doing things, like I'm asleep, and then when y'all are asleep, I'm up. So it's crazy. But I got to catch up on your show, and I just thought it was fabulous. The idea that you have, people debating and giving a minute and 30, which I think is a perfect time, is excellent. I thought you having the judges was excellent because then it's like nobody can say like, you're being biased towards anyone.
And then
Do you have like?
they still
And they
found a way
did.
to say that.
I know.
They still found a way to say that the judges were
I
being
know.
biased. And I'm like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The three people I picked, I follow them on Twitter, and I see how they tweet. They don't have like an agenda, and they're not biased to like promotional companies like PBC or like Top Rank. So they're always like
Right.
neutral,
Neutral.
So
Yeah.
I knew that they would like, vote just,
Especially
unbiasedly.
26 Sports. He's always
Yeah,
neutral.
exactly. Well, homeboy Mike, he's in the chat right now.
Yes,
So
Mike.
he's
Yes,
definitely
Mike. Great
unbiased, but
job.
they still found a way to say that the judges were biased. So it doesn't matter if I would have had the chat vote or the judges, like somebody's gonna find a way to say that they were cheating. It was
Right.
crazy. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep it that way or not.
Explain the concept of your show. And first of all, like for you to think about it, like to come up with it, I thought was genius. Like I'm like, man, that's genius, and I'm so glad it was you and not somebody else. But explain the concept of your show.
Well, I want to say it's just like 3 rounds of debating. I try to do it like 3 minutes each round, and then each person gets a minute and a half to state their case for the topic that they're debating on, which is a boxing related topic. And then we score each round for each person, and whoever wins, the 2 out of 3 rounds, then they're the winner. So once I get it going to like where I can find a comfortable like judging and voting system, then I want to do it like a bracket style while I have everybody debating, and then when people win, then they'll start competing against the other person that won in their bracket like that. But first I kind of have to get like a good smooth judging system, because my God, last night was hell. Like I started arguing. I started arguing with one of the contenders because he was so upset that the judges had him losing, his.
I was like, you're not winning
his
a
bout.
prize.
Yeah,
Money,
I told him.
nothing.
I know. I told him that I was like, I'm not charging you sanctioning fees. I'm not charging you anything. Like, like relax, dude. It's just a debate. It's not that serious. Like he was really on it.
And I saw somebody, I don't know who it was, because like, I'm still trying to get Twitter. I'm still trying to like get it down. Okay. So like whenever I see a comment, I'm like, where did this come from? Like where, and somebody was saying something about Texas. They wanted to like debate Texas. I'm like, okay, wait.
Yeah. Yeah, this dude,
So,
he only wants to debate people from Texas.
Okay. What about females from Texas?
I know. I want to get the females involved so they could start debating people, because we definitely know about boxing. So I want to get some matches with the ladies on there. So I know when you get back from Tokyo, I'm going to get you on there to debate somebody.
I'm gonna be ready.
She's gonna tear it up.
Crying or a sore loser.
So somebody has a question in the chat about judging as well. Somebody, Aaron Yuda, he's asking Christine, what do you think of the boxing judges in the female fights in Tokyo? And he goes, me think it is highly inconsistent, is what they're saying.
Me think.
I got to be politically correct because you're
right.
Like,
hold on. Let me think before I speak.
Let me think for week. Yeah.
I see where he's coming from. Unfortunately, fortunately, there's always politics, and there's always people's personal feelings, whether it be, in a local tournament or on the worldwide stage. That's just the way it is. Anytime there's a human element, that does happen. There were some things that I probably didn't agree with. Yarisa Ramirez, she was our first one out. I thought that was not a correct judgment. But also, if you and it's not any one country, but it's like, it's very interesting that you see the way the different countries score. It's like, maybe no matter what you do, you're not going to get their thumbs up, and maybe you don't do as much and you do. So it is interesting, the judge. So I like to really look and see how each country scores, and what my personal thoughts are, even if it's not us. Like, I mean, because we're watching it, all the other countries too, because we're very familiar with these fighters and we've been to camps with them, so we know them very well. So yes, I can see where you would think it is highly inconsistent, but I think they're probably, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're probably doing the very best that they possibly can. Long days, long nights. They're human. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That was a nice political answer there.
I have to be careful.
Yeah.
Nika, I have to ask you. So last night, Hitman had battled Artman. Who is Hitman on Twitter? Like, is that his name, Hitman? I couldn't see
on
him.
Twitter, his name is People's Champ.
People's Champ. Okay.
Yeah, People's Champ. I gotta find it exactly, but I have tagged in one of the tweets that I put.
I was just curious. Okay.
Yeah, thanking them for coming on. Yeah, he's a character. So I like somebody else actually called him out yesterday too. So I'm gonna see if I can set that up. But I know it's People's Champ, but I think there's a couple of numbers behind the Twitter handle.
And I hate to say the young kid. What's his name?
Mighty Max.
Mighty Max. Yeah, he was
I love that
he's
kid.
well composed. Yeah, he's very well spoken. You wouldn't know that he's 16 if you just heard him speak.
He's so smart.
Yeah?
Wow.
16 years
That's what I
old.
was talking about.
He's
Tiara.
wow.
Let me ask you: have you been? What fights have you watched? Have you seen? I know we've watched a few. Like I know that you've watched a few, but who have you watched so far in the Olympics right now?
You mean just for the American team
general,
or?
Yeah, just in general. Yeah.
I've watched all the ones that I can see, like on YouTube. They put on YouTube already. So I've watched quite a few, not just America.
Right.
But I'm actually waiting for the Korean 57 kilo to fight.
Oh. Okay,
female.
Yeah.
I don't think it's happened yet.
No, I don't think so. It hasn't.
57 kilo Korean. Onshkin.
Yeah.
Her name is Onshkin. She's my good friend. So I'm waiting to watch her fight.
And I was curious, do you see anybody that is still like fighting amateurs that's in the Olympics that you have fought in?
Most definitely. I actually got a email from, I can't remember what country it was, but the girl that I fought at the World Games, I think in 2015, she's there now.
Okay.
So one of the news people from her country reached out to me and wanted to talk. I'm trying to think of where she was from.
That's awesome.
She should be 57 kilo as well.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious because, I think we're the only country that as soon as
has a new squad.
And these other countries, they continue on and they continue on to fight in the Olympics. And we, as soon as we get there or right before, if we're on a, international tournament, we've medaled and stuff, then we immediately go pro. Why do you think that is? What's your opinion on that?
My opinion is that, I hate to say it, but I know for a fact that, other countries, they give incentives for their fighters to want to stay amateur. And that's been that way for years.
Right.
Because I'm like, they've been amateur I've been a pro for how long now? Like 4 years. And I still have friends who are amateur, who are number 1 in their country, number 2 in their country, and they're still fighting in the Olympics, Pan American Games, but they get incentives, but we don't do that. We always have a new team, and I know it was very difficult for this team because look how it was so many different game qualifiers that didn't occur. You had to bring out pros to come back, and that's difficult to go from a pro to being an amateur because then you have to think about, well, what counts?
Right.
So I know it's been very difficult.
It is different. I don't know if y'all noticed that, Nika and Tracy, that we don't keep some of the same guys and girls, that we had in the first Olympics, or that even have medaled internationally, like Tiara. And this year was like really funny because, and then Lee, I'll definitely answer your question. I'm so sorry, but so we had a new team we had a Olympic qualifier locally for our team. We had some new, young, very talented men and women that kind of like knocked the spot out for the ones that had been on the team, the veterans, I guess you would say. And they were going to be our team, and we were going to go to the qualifiers, Olympic qualifiers, and in Argentina, and it was canceled because of COVID. So they've dealt with a lot of things, and then once we get to the world ranking, because we didn't have the qualifiers, we find out that these young, talented, I say kids, everybody's a kid to me, but kids were unable to compete. And so this is the first time in history that we've had pros fighting in the Olympics. Like, other countries have done it and they still do it. This is the first time we've ever done it. And the reason for that was because of the world rankings. They had a certain amount of points, world ranking points, and that's what they go by, and so some of these young kids were heartbroken because they thought that they were going to be devastated. And
wow,
we get to know them and love them. I love them both. Like, you get to know the ones that have been on the team, you get to know the ones that are new, you love them all, and to see it's like a bittersweet thing. So it was a bittersweet thing. And Tiara, you were saying, it's very hard to transition from pro to amateur style, which it is, because in the pro, you're looking for those shots, you're looking for the knockout shots. You're taking your time. In the amateurs, it's just like
fast. You got to get those points. You better win this round.
Yes, you got to be moving. So, but I think so far the guys have transitioned well. They're all, still in it. So they've definitely transitioned well.
When are they fighting tomorrow?
Well, for me it's today.
Or today.
Tonight at 5. Yeah. So Troy, Richard, and Jenny are going again. We are, let me see, we're like 7, I think 8 wins, 2 losses, something like that so far. The team is doing well. The team is doing well. I'm very proud.
That's badass.
Yeah. And that goes
this
along
is
with
like
Lee's question. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna.
No, I was just gonna say that this is. No, I was gonna say that this is like the only time the insomnia has really like paid off for me, because I get to catch the 4 a.m. fight when you guys come on.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, my husband's the same way. He's like, call me when they're fighting, and he's like, oh my God, in the morning is killing me, but I gotta watch him. But so Lee, thank you. It's a group effort. You say, what do you attribute it to? Everything starts at the home gyms. All of these kids have coaches that have brought them up, from whatever age they started boxing. So we cannot take credit away from them, because they have put in all the work. They've done everything that we as coaches do after hours, and nurture these kids and for them, and shown them what needs to be done for them to be on the team. So I definitely, first of all, thank all of those home coaches, the grassroots coaches is what some people say. But and then they come with us, and Billy Walsh, he is our head coach, and he has been to many Olympics. He's also competed in the Olympics. He's had many champions. He was part of Katie Taylor's team. Yes. And he is brilliant. I have learned so much from him, and these kids have too. So he takes what they have and he shows them what they need to do to win internationally and ultimately on the big stage of the Olympics. So it's definitely a group effort. We all work together with Billy's lead, and we just do everything that we possibly can to make sure that these kids are taken care of, healthy, at weight, and happy. So that's what I attribute it to. Absolutely. It's cute.
Somebody's little profile.
Yeah, it was like, they made me laugh.
Like, what the hell is that?
It's wonderful. So Tiara, I mean, only the things that you can talk about. What are some of your short-term goals? Because well, you've
Go
already
triple.
yeah, you've already accomplished one of being a coach, which I think is
Oh yeah,
fabulous. Congratulations, the
yeah,
kids are so blessed to have you.
yeah.
But what are some of your other short-term goals?
Well, actually, it's like every goal that I set, I've already accomplished it.
Oh,
Yeah,
And it's wild for me to say that, but I always
seriously.
set goals and then I get serious with it and I just go at it. I attack them like a shark, and I just make sure that they happen. Like right now, I'm starting my new job tomorrow. I just became a assistant coach for the PAL program. I'm trying to get my first fight since COVID, as you know. I haven't fought
Yeah.
since COVID started. And I think right now that is my big focus right now is to get back into the game. It's
Yes.
been a year. It's been a year since I fought since COVID started, and I'm really trying to get my head back in the game because I am looking to be a world champion next year. But I think as
Absolutely.
far as goals, I mean, the sky's the limit. Every dream that I've had, every goal I've set, I've accomplished it, and I'm just looking forward
wow.
to training some champions now with these kids that I'm training.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
They're blessed to have you as a coach, that's for sure. Like I think it's
I'm
great.
excited.
If anybody knows,
And the
it is
best
so
part,
exciting.
was when I got there to the Junior Olympics. USA Boxing, they put me on this huge pedestal. And I was like, wow, they were telling everyone my accolades. And then so many of the kids were coming up to me like, hey, I follow you on Instagram, follow me back. I was like, no doubt, and I was
Yeah.
following a lot of the kids. And then when the competition started, so many coaches asked me to work their corners with them. And I'm like, you guys realize
Wow.
this is my first time coaching. Like, this is my first time at a tournament. And they're like, yeah, but you're the champ. Like, you know so much anyway. Please, we'll be honored. And it was just, they kept saying they were honored, but I was honored to be in the corner working a lot of these kids' corner. Like I know I worked a lot of the kids who are ranked number one, number two in the nations that are on the JO team, and it was
Yes.
just great being a part of it during the ceremony. Myself and Franchon Cruz, we gave out the medals at the ceremony awards, and
Yes. Yes. I
that was
heard you did.
awesome.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was great. It's just to give back like that and to show the youth, like, hey, look at all I accomplished being an amateur boxer. Now as a professional fighter, I'm 10-0, 6 knockouts. Look at all I've accomplished. Like this is you. Like when I saw the
Yes.
kids, I saw me. Like, yep, growing up, going through this tournament, that tournament. I was like, you guys are going to be in the next Olympics.
Right, absolutely. And they need to
That's
hear
amazing.
that, especially for you.
Yeah.
And then for you to go back and give back to USA Boxing and Franchon as well. It's just, I think that's so important because there are going to be other, guys coming through the program. And once they leave and they're no longer in the program, they should come back and give back
Yep,
because
I agree.
it's such a wonderful experience and not everybody gets to go.
Yep,
So I think that's great. And I
it's
saw
great.
actually, so ladies, USA Boxing did like a montage of
Oh, you saw
people like doing
that?
videos. Yeah, I saw it. I was just gonna talk about that. So for all the athletes, because honestly, this team has been through so much with having to wait a year with COVID, with everything. And some of them in their personal lives have gone through things which we, can all relate to. And so they did a montage of videos, and Tiara did one, and it was just great. It just makes the athletes so happy to get the support. It really does. So I was
It's
really happy
cool.
about that.
I was excited when they asked me. I was like, of course, what? Shout out to the
Yeah,
Olympians, USA all the way.
Hell
absolutely. And
yeah.
and speaking of that, what people go through, like in when they're training and with the delay of the Olympics and then their personal stuff. Tracy and Nika and I were talking about some of the mental part of it all.
Yep.
Naika, what were you saying? I mean, there's a lot of stuff right now on Twitter and in the news about
Oh man.
boxers and athletes having their mental breakdowns. What is your opinion, and how do you think that the public is responding? Are they responding positively or negatively?
It's like it's like split down the middle.
50-50.
I'm really 50-50, and I'm really shocked at some of the people that it's coming from, like on the negative side, like from some athletes.
Absolutely.
And I'm like,
absolutely.
Like your mind is like, it plays tricks on you sometimes, and if you're not 100% in your mind, you can hurt yourself in whatever sport you're doing, especially like Simone Biles. She's like flipping in the air, like she can really break her neck,
Yes.
Yep.
And then
be paralyzed for life. And then what?
For life. And then what? And then it's like, and then she should have sat down. Then
she should have kept
going
and
feeling,
right.
I was very
Who are you to say
that
this?
Exactly. It really grinds my gears.
It makes you mad. It makes you mad.
It makes you pissed. So pissed. And I was like very shocked that a lot of athletes were speaking in a negative tone about it. And like, not to mention the Olympian, like Simone, she's won numerous medals in the Olympics. She's very decorated,
dedicated,
and like, broken so many records and everything. And then for people to say like, oh, like the greats would never pull out and stuff like that, and like she is one of the greats. So what do you mean? She is the great. Exactly. And I'm gonna I'm gonna say the name of the person that said it, because I was really shocked, because she's a female. I know who you're about to say. It was Sulim Urbina. I knew it. She's a boxer. I knew it. A boxer. And she said that the greats would never pull out. And would never pull out. Yep. On Twitter. I read that. And I'm like, on Twitter, and I'm just like, I couldn't believe it neither. And I was just like, wow, this girl's already very accomplished. Like, if she's telling you that her mind is not there and she needs to pull out, and in actuality, I don't really feel like the athletes need to tell you what's going on with them. No. It's really not our business. Nope. It's really not our business. So we're actually privileged to know what's going on with them when they do tell us. But like when they do, that's why people don't tell us and don't want to say anything, because you attack them, and you attack them when they want to be honest about things. And I was just very shocked at it. I'm just like, I'm so disgusted. I was shocked at that too. I was disgusted too. Yeah.
Can we? It's like we as women need to support each other and lift each other up. And we don't have to understand everything, but we need to support each other. Like, we should have all come together, and we do, and we do on the panel, and say, you know what, it's okay. Like, I mean, we go through our own stuff as women, period. But then being an athlete on this level and everything else, like, we totally get it. Tracy, what did you think? Like, I mean, what did you think about some of the comments and some of the things that were going on?
Yeah. Well, here we go. Are you ready? Here we go.
I'm ready for it.
Okay. Let's go. So first of all, there's someone in the chat, Ariane, whatever. We boxing fans what the hell did he just say? He was basically calling her a quitter, calling Simone a quitter. Okay. First of all, you cannot sit there behind your keyboard and pretend that you know what it's like to be in someone else's head. Okay. First. Second of all, like, you have no idea what these athletes are going through. And Christine, you have talked about it before, because these athletes are over in Japan. They're secluded, correct? Like, you are
away from their family months.
No family, months, no support. The only support is the crew in the Olympics, and that's got to take a toll. And and then with COVID and everything like that, and that shit has got to take a toll. And if you cannot mentally perform, if you are not mentally all there, you are risking injury. And it's just like, so many people have so many comments when they have no clue what it's like to have anxiety, depression, social anxiety, any of those things, unless they have it. And if they have it, then they would understand and be more sympathetic, because how can you not sympathize when you're going through the same shit yourself?
Right. And not to mention, you know, men and women, we are different. Okay. I mean, there is a difference. That doesn't mean that men are better, women are better, but we are different. You know, not only do we deal with everything that the men deal with, but we also have our, you know, monthly situation. That also,
And
you know, messes with our emotion.
somebody just reminded in the chat that she let me put it up here. But somebody he has a question for you, Tiara, after this though. But the Free Hoover, I put it on the screen. So remember
The last
Simone Biles
victim.
is the last victim of Dr.
Thank
Larry
you.
Nassar.
Yep.
So I was so
Thank you.
disgusted that a female
Thank you
athlete
for that.
Yeah,
came out
I
and
was.
said something like that about another female
Yes.
athlete who's already
Yes.
accomplished. Even if she didn't accomplish all the stuff that she already has, like we still shouldn't even be shooting her down like that. Like she has some stuff going on, and if when people come out and say stuff like that, you know, I have to be really
And
good
this
on
is
Twitter now, so that's why I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I was really nice
I'm-
because I'm on my last
Yeah.
leg on this
Yeah.
account, so I couldn't really cuss. I couldn't really cuss out and say what I really wanted to say. But yeah, I was
Because
disgusted.
just
Yeah,
imagine being on lockdown.
She was the last victim of
Yeah.
Yeah.
in her
the
head
coach.
thinking about these things, you know, like
And because you've got so much time to think about it in between training because you're by yourself, right? I mean, Christine, so you tell us like what it's like.
Well, I just want to touch on two things, and I want Tiara.
Sorry about that.
No. What you're talking about, I want to touch on those things, and then also, and I'm sure Tiara can agree with some of this, and then she can say too, and then answer her question from Lee. But this is the thing too about athletes, and athletes. A good coach knows when how to push an athlete and when their peak time is. Okay, so the athlete, if the athlete peaks before time, or is not ready to peak in their ability, and when they're in their best physical and mental and emotional mind, then it can also not be good for them mentally. Because the thing is that we didn't know that these Olympics were going to be postponed. And then even when I was here in Japan, you're reading things that they may not happen. So it was very hard to gauge when they would peak, and they have to peak during the time that they're going to compete. Am I right, Tiara? There's a peak time that you are ready, and that like nothing can interfere. So that's number one. So number two, about the sexual abuse. So it's no secret. I never talked about it before, but I had been on a show with Hannah Gabriels, and she's talked about her sexual abuse publicly, and that prompted me to talk about mine, which was very difficult. I mean, I'm 51 years old, and I'm just now talking about it. And then I also interviewed Michelle Phelps, who had been sexually abused, and let me tell you something. I have dealt with so many kids in my gym that have been sexually abused, male and female, and then myself dealing with it. And this is why I do what I do, because what it does to you as a person, I can't even describe. And unless you've been through it, you don't understand. So with people attacking her, and she's been through this, I am just very disappointed in society, especially with athletes. And I'm sorry, but female athletes that are in the professional realm or the amateur realm, because you know the stress, you know the crap that y'all have to go through. And then you pour everything else on top of it, you know, with her abuse, the stress of the Olympics happening or not happening, the pressure that you're carrying your team. And then who knows what else is going on at home with her? Like, we don't know. So I was very
I think they said
disappointed
her
to see
brother
that.
actually was like involved with some murders or something like that.
That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
I think
It's
her
like,
brother committed some murders or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, she had a lot of stuff going on.
and then she's expected to be this golden child all the time. We're not perfect, you know, and that's a lot of pressure. Tiara, what do you think about this and some of the things that we've talked about?
So this is what I think. Like, I try not to argue with people on Twitter because Anybody can
No
say anything
use.
behind a keyboard. Like, come on.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's very funny when people bash athletes who have never done a sport in their life.
Right.
You know, who have never done anything, who have never chased
Right.
their dreams, who have never
Yeah.
even thought about chasing their dreams, but yet they get behind a keyboard and they say all these things that are just not nice.
Yeah. Or
And
have, but not. They're not here. They're still here.
and they're not of
Trying to
that
get here.
caliber, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And it's sad when I saw that Sue Lim wrote that on Twitter. And I saw myself writing her in her DM, and I said, you know what? It's not worth it. So I didn't even write anything. But if you go on my Twitter now, as of like a few hours
Right.
ago, I retweeted something about this other Olympian who was talking about, what if something happens to me, like something about having a heat stroke, because the one girl had a heat stroke and they had to carry her out in a
Yeah.
wheelchair, an athlete, because she just she wanted to keep going, but she had a stroke.
Yes.
And they're like, well, if something happens to me, you guys want me to keep going, but who's going to take care of me? You know?
Right.
She deleted it real quick when everybody started hopping on her ass.
Yeah, it's like she has done so much, right? All these gold medals, all these tournaments she's won, and the one time she can't compete, it's a problem.
Right.
Who are we to say that? This girl has dedicated her entire life
Absolutely.
to gymnastics, and she's done a damn good job. And the one time she can't perform, oh, she should have done this. Oh, she should have done that. No, she should have done what she did.
Exactly. She knows herself.
She should have done what she did.
Injured, like y'all talked about before, like beyond repair. Like she knows herself.
And you have to think of it like this: what athlete is gonna just give up on a dream that they've had all this time? All these years of preparation, you think she's just gonna back out and quit just because? Come on, common sense. Common sense would say that that's not what's going on here. But we as people are so vicious, are so evil and mean with our words. Like it makes no sense. You know, it's terrible that how we are as a society. It's terrible how we're so vicious toward people who don't deserve it. You know, but so forgiving to other individuals. It's mind-boggling to me, really. You know, it really is.
I totally agree. We definitely need to be more empathetic, sympathetic. We have no clue on some of the things that we talk about. You know, and I find it's so funny because I find that people on Twitter are like probably the meanest people on all of the social media platforms.
They are
unbelievable.
Vicious.
Unbelievable.
They are vicious.
And I'm like, where does all this come from? It's like I have to feel sorry for you. You know, even Nike and I have talked about this before. Like I've been attacked on Twitter too, and I'm just like, dude, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like I'm sorry.
I've seen you get attacked on Twitter. Remember?
Yeah,
and I wrote you like, don't even.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, like.
And I'm just, you know what?
No, but you know what? You always handle it. You always handle it really good. You always like, you know what? God bless you. Be blessed.
Be blessed.
It's like, you know what? I need to learn how to do that because I don't have that.
This is the thing.
You always handle it really good.
I want to go, motherfuckers.
The people that are attacking you and don't even know you, because if they knew you, they would love you. See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's number one. If they really knew you, they would love you and they would know how you are and who you are. So people that attack you are just people that are miserable with their lives. They're looking for someone to mess with, an easy target. They want to get a rise out of you. So they will not get that from me. Number one. Number two, I'm not going to mention their name again, because as soon as I do, people are going to start wondering who it is. They're going to go follow them. That person's going to get more followers and more likes and everything else. So I'm not willing to give them any of that. And that's trust me, this has been years of working on it, because I am very feisty too, and I have a temper as well, especially when my friends or family are being attacked, you know. But it's just I'm just like, you know what, I'm not gonna give you anything, and God bless you, you know. But
I find that with Twitter, because I'm an Instagrammer. I love Instagram.
Yeah. I do too.
I love Instagram. Twitter, I know it's it's kind of like if you want to be relevant, you have, it's necessary.
Right.
But I find like people try to bait you, right?
They do.
They try to bait you into arguments and things like that. That's not even in my character. Like, it's not in my character to argue, to go back and forth. That's not in my character at all. So like when I'm tagged in something, when someone is trying to like start some beef between me and a few other fighters or whatever, I don't even reply. Like, I saw it. I saw you tag me. I don't even comment, because for what? Because then there's going to be the whole back and forth. We're going to go back and forth. And then whoever else you tag, they're going to chime in. And then we're going to all go back. I don't have time for that.
And for what? It doesn't
for
prove
what?
anything.
It doesn't prove anything. I don't have time for it. Nope.
So
I'm weak.
no, you're not weak.
No, you're not.
Weak.
I fight.
You're not weak. You're not weak. You know what you are, Tracy? You're passionate. You're not weak.
Yes.
You care about your people. And there's nothing wrong with that. We just all express it in different ways. It's not weakness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just we just do it differently.
No, it's not weakness, because
somebody.
The same way I won't say anything, I have people that will say it for me, you know, that'll say it.
Okay.
It's like they read my mind and then they'll just go.
Right. Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, and I think that we as well, I don't think, I know from my own experiences and seeing it, you know, we as women, we always have to prove ourselves. We have to work harder. Mm-hmm. We have to put up with more crap. We have to take things because we have to show that we belong where we're at, which is totally wrong. It shouldn't be that way. We should just do, you know, everything that we do should speak for itself.
And don't forget, you have to look pretty while doing all of that. Don't forget that part.
Right.
Yeah, you better look beautiful while doing all that stuff too.
You better look beautiful, or else you're not marketable.
Or
you don't have a certain look, you're not marketable, and you can't do this and that. You know what? Be you, do you. It is what it is, and I've come to that. Look, let me tell you something. The only time I put on some makeup is if I'm doing a show, which I mean, not this one, because obviously I'm not, you know, like I do at home, but it's like this is me. Like the other day when we did a show and I was sweaty and grimy and gross, it's like it is what it is. You know,
oh my God, that was awesome. Yeah, you were like.
I was like, I can't hear you. I'm sweaty, and it was horrible.
Yeah,
but it was me. It's the real me, you know.
I'm not a makeup person.
You're not weak. You're not weak. Y'all are passionate. And,
I let it go till 5 a.m. though. That's where I was like, damn.
You know what? Do you, girl? Do you? There's no right or wrong to this.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong to this.
Once I get called a Karen or a
racist.
No. I was like, no. I go, no.
No, let me tell you this. No. I just saw this and I was very upset. So it was from a guy. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want, nobody needs to follow him because I just don't think he's a very nice person. But he was saying, Micah got something good going with this boxing versus, but the white people and the trolls are going to find a way to ruin it, like everything else.
I saw
history.
that.
You know, like,
I saw that before we came on here. I had no idea what he was talking about.
Me too.
I was like, what's wrong with those crackers?
You know, like for some reason they were saying that there was a lot of like racist people in the chat last night. So I have to give more people like wrenches in there to like be moderators so they can like kick them out and like put them on timeout and stuff. But I'm learning how to do that because like now that it's like
I'll fuck up the race,
getting more traffic on there, then now that I'm getting more traffic in there, I'm getting all those like types of people in there. So it's like,
you know what? Everything's
the crackers.
That's how we learn. Yeah. We make mistakes. Yeah. We have success. You know, we have okay days, great days, not so good days. That's how we learn. And I thought I think you're doing marvelous. I mean, and
for
you know,
the
there's
second
just
show,
there's just these few people that want to throw something stupid in there and mess it all up. But you know what? God bless them. Let them try, but it's not going to happen. I mean, we all bleed red, you know?
Yep.
I mean, are
Amen.
there racist people in the world? Yes, there are. And I'm sorry.
Yep.
You know, I feel sorry for them. They're insecure. They're threatened. And it's sad, but that's what it shows whenever they say stupid things like this.
And when I see a racist, I cannot help but say something. I'm like, and it coming from a white woman, I was like, sorry, but you know what? You're a fucking racist. Like seriously, like that shit is like, that's the one that's like a trigger. Like I'm like, I don't understand how you can sit there and say that this person is less of a person because of their skin color. That's fucked up to me. Like, I don't get it. And because of, you know, the history, and it's just fucked up. It's just fucked up.
Change. And if we want change, it starts with us.
Yeah.
We have to be the change that we want to see.
Hashtag.
So that's where it starts with us. So we don't perpetuate any of it. And when people say dumb things like this, I'm just like, wow, I feel sorry for you. What have you been through? And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that somebody burnt you and upset you or brainwashed you. I'm sorry because there's a lot of great people in the world. There's a lot of not so great people, and none of them have a certain color. You know, they come in different shades.
It's crazy. I'm unable to comprehend that way of thinking.
Absolutely.
And maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's my upbringing because my family and being open and everything like that. But it's like
that all plays a part, you know, like, it all plays a part.
I'm in love with black men. What the hell?
So somebody has Lee has a question for you, Tiara. It's been sitting up here for a minute, so I just want to let you answer this question for him. He says every athlete has that moment when everything comes together in terms of speed, power, and technique. What was that moment for you thus far?
Oh man, that's a hard one.
Lee with hard questions.
yeah, Mr. Lee, you got hard. So you know what? I think since we were talking about like mental health and things of that nature, like with the Olympics and how, you know, the situation occurred. So I went through this situation over a year ago when I was training for a fight, and the day before the fight, one of my coaches just was a no-show. The day before the fight, it was a no-show, and then out the blue he says he's not coming. You know, so then me and the other coach were like, "What?" That little bit of stress turned into a whole lot of anxiety, because this was my coach. You know, this was my coach. This was the guy that I was working with, and that goes to mental health. This was the day before I was fighting in a professional fight. Ooh. I was depressed. I was crying. I was having anxiety the night of the fight. Like before we even warmed up, I was thinking about all of those things. You know, I had been crying all the night before. I had been stressed. Anxiety kicked in, all that. And I still had to fight. That was the worst fight I've ever had in my life. I mean, seriously, I pulled out the win barely, but that just goes to show that, you know, mental health is real. Like, your mind has to be there 100%. It's not 95, not 99.9, 100%. So to his question, like speed, power, and technique, I needed all that. Plus I had to dig down and get my mental, you know, there enough to even fight. You know, my opponent was tough, and having all that and still fighting, it was a lot, but I dug deep and I got the win. And I can truly say that was the worst fight I've ever had in my life. You know, so mental health is real. But to answer his question, I think that fight was when I had to pull everything out the trick bag. I really did. Everything I had, I had to bring it out that night. And it wouldn't even have been that way if my mind was right.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's because boxing is mental. So,
yeah.
I mean, not all mental, but you know,
big part
when it gets in your head. Yeah.
Big part. And it's crazy because the whole fight, I wasn't even thinking about the fight. I was thinking about my coach. I was thinking about I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm stressed. I didn't even care about the fight. And everyone who was watching the fight online was like, when I go back and look, they were writing like, "What's wrong? Why does she look like that? Why is she not fighting like herself?" You know, it's legit. You better be
It's
right.
legit.
And it's
Yeah,
legit. It's legit, man.
it is legit. And you know what? I mean, you did go on and fight and win, but if you would have pulled out, you know, how many
Yep.
people would have said, "Oh, she pulled
Oh,
out.
why she pulled
Why she pulled
out?
out?"
Oh,
Oh,
coward, quitter, loser, all
exactly.
that.
Yeah,
All that.
exactly.
Which
And you
is
could
Yeah.
have,
fucked
and it would
up.
have been okay.
Yep.
You know, thank God you didn't get hurt. You know, by some
Yep.
stupid, you know, wild shot. But yeah, if you would have, then it would have been okay.
Yep.
That's crazy. I don't understand how people are they lack empathy
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely,
completely. If it doesn't
absolutely.
make sense to them, it just
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can't be real.
yeah.
And I
It's
used to say
ridiculous.
that to my ex-husband all the time, like, dude, you don't understand. Like, okay, so would you guys think that I'm a depressed person who has also social anxiety and PTSD? So you're looking at someone who has this, and you probably didn't think that, but so that's what the point is that you don't know. You just don't know. And when you don't know, you just need to shut up because you don't know. You don't know what's in anyone's head. You can't pretend to be in someone else's head. And I've also seen some people like compare, well, Jordan, like
And
he,
right.
Michael
Everyone always
Jordan.
wants to compare
Yeah,
Jordan.
I'm like,
He
you
played
can't
with the fruit.
compare, you can't, right.
right.
You can't compare Michael Jordan to Simone right now.
Right.
Michael Jordan, that was a long time ago. There was no COVID. There were other things. He never had issues with depression. He
Right.
had issues when his dad passed away
But
or
no,
was
that
murdered and then
and then
had to step
he
away.
he took some time and he stepped away, like because he
Yeah.
was
Yep.
dealing
Mm-hmm.
with his was
And
everything he
no,
had to
The
no
death
deal
two
of
with.
his
people are the
father.
And
Yeah.
same. No two
Yeah.
people are the same.
yeah,
Why are
everybody
we
doesn't handle
comparing
everything the same. Like
That's
marriages?
what
And
I
a
It's
like
like
phys-
we
and
saying.
are
a,
not the same. We're all
and
different.
a physical illness is way different than a
Than
mental
a
illness. This is
mental.
what people don't have. This is
Absolutely.
what people are missing. They're really missing the point that
Yes.
the mind is very powerful. It's very
Yes.
powerful. You know, a physical illness is different. For instance, the Olympian right now, Rashida, right?
Yes. That's the girl fighting
I
tomorrow.
beat her. I beat her at the USA National Championship in the championship. She was demolishing everyone that year.
Mhm.
And me and her met up at the championship and
Wow.
I beat her. I had the flu. My coach tried to pull me out of the fight. I begged him, please, please let me fight. I can do it. I was so weak, man. I was laying in Epsom salt. I was doing all types of stuff. You know, I was weak, but I still pulled out the win. It wasn't mental. My body was hurting. I was sick.
Right.
You know,
Right.
mental
But
is
mentally, you
different.
knew.
Mentally, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was mentally, I was there. I was like, I'm fighting. You know, I was there mentally. That's why mental illness and physical illness is two different things. They can't compare Michael Jordan to Simone.
They're
No.
two different people, one, and then you also can't compare a physical injury to a mental injury because
You can't.
you can see the physical injury, you
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
can't see the mental injury.
Right,
Right.
right.
Right. Right.
and and
That's
so
so
that's why
true.
you wouldn't know
Yep.
that I have all these things. You wouldn't know that because I do other things to combat it and work
Mhm.
on it and everything like that, but it's been like
But
a 35-year battle. So
yeah,
yes.
you know, 5 years ago, nobody would have even known except for my husband and a couple of my kids, and even they didn't know. You know, I couldn't even come out of my room. I could not walk
Mm.
out of my room. I had a gym. I had a business. I had so much going on in my life. But I could not walk out of my room because I was so overcome with depression. It's like
Yeah.
everything that's ever happened in my life was finally coming to a head. And sometimes you can suppress, and
Hmm.
when it starts to show its ugly face, you're not really sure how to deal with it. Because who talks about it in my culture? It's a sign of weakness to be,
Yep.
depressed or
Depressed.
have
Hmm.
anxiety or you know, and who wants to be weak, you know, especially in a male dominated sport that I'm in. Who wants to show weakness? You know, we work so hard and do everything we possibly can. So I get it. If I would have broken my leg or my arm, you know, I could have just put a cast on it and kept going. But the mental part of it, I couldn't even walk out of my bedroom. You know, my daughter had a baby at that time, who's now 5. He's my heart. They're all my grandkids are, but he saved my life literally because I had a purpose and I took care of him during this time. So nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors. We have to be kind. We have to support each other.
Yep.
Yeah. And especially women.
People don't have that.
Ladies, you know, and I'm speaking for all women. We have to support each other and be gentle and love each other. And because we also have to fight everybody else that's out there, you know. So I don't know. That's just
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So Lee wants to follow you, Tiara. Give him your Twitter handle.
On my Twitter, Tiara Brown Box. Yeah, just one word, Tiara Brown Box. Yep, that's me.
Thanks, Nika. Good.
Wow. I just and I couldn't find you, Tiara. I couldn't find you
on my Instagram. Oh, my Instagram is Tiara.anointed. Yeah, okay. Tiara.anointed.
Okay.
I love Instagram. Everyone follow me on Instagram. I love Instagram.
See, I was on Instagram, like, I love it. I love it because I like doing videos and I'm just a ridiculous fool and I love it. But then with Twitter,
Twitter's evil. Twitter's evil.
But it's also at the same time, there's so many people from boxing, and then like when a fight is on, with doing round for round, like I used to do that years ago. So like that is the only thing, and I'm just like, other than that, all the races.
You gotta take a healthy break every now and then, go to.
Yes, I can't.
Because it can get evil. Oh, so I have a question for y'all because I'm so like out of the loop in the professional realm because all day it's just the kids over here and what we're doing over here in Japan. But what is the deal with Caleb Plant Canelo? What's going on?
Who knows? We don't. No one knows the truth. No one knows the truth.
We don't know what the fuck is going on, man.
Yeah, we don't know the truth.
I don't know what the fuck.
Like what happened?
So Caleb said that he was willing to give Canelo everything, rematch, even if. So they're saying that Canelo stated that he doesn't want a rematch, but if he loses, he gets a rematch.
Oh, okay. And so that rematch clause is not going to happen unless he loses, is what he's saying.
Yeah, and then there was some more stuff that Caleb had put on Instagram.
That's right, Shoe Shine Boxing. Yeah, okay.
It was just so much. So we really don't know the truth. I don't think we know the truth.
Huh. Okay. Shoe Shine Boxing, thank you so much. Yes. You know my dude, how that is for sure. Nika, so what is it? With Caleb and Canelo, what are your opinions? What happened?
I already knew this was gonna happen. I feel like I'm not surprised that this is like going on, but there's so many people already coming up with stories that Canelo is ducking and or we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's actually going on until one of the fighters actually get on camera and say what's going on. So like I see too many reports about, I think they're all false reports to be honest, but like what's going on behind the scenes. But I hope the fight happens, but it doesn't really look like it's gonna
happen. But, I'm just waiting to see Canelo come back and speak some English again, and when he's like, "Get the F up out of here."
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm for it.
I love
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Man, then we start singing, talking about a payday. I'm for it. I'm for all of it. I love hearing him talk like that.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of
Yo.
here.
You know,
I
it's
love
so
it.
funny.
Yo.
People were criticizing him, you know, a lot of people on Twitter too, because he wasn't ever speaking English. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
hey, you asked for it, you got it.
Yeah, you
know?
got it. Hey, let that man speak some English. Shoot.
Right.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's sorry, I got distracted by the chat because D-Style was saying that they're gonna have Ryan O'Hara in.
Okay.
I like him. He's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do too.
Ryan's
And
pretty
he's
cool.
moving to Texas. I'm so happy. That's so good. Yeah, I just saw
I'm
that.
thinking about coming that way.
Come on, girl. Come on. Come on down.
So Ryan O'Hara is gonna be on the show tonight, and they're gonna talk about Canelo Plant.
Okay, I have to too, for sure.
I'm not very schooled in it. I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, what the hell? But Lee,
He should know.
Lee always knows. Canelo has some Plant.
Talk to us, Lee.
I mean, obviously, Canelo has something Plant wants, a huge payday. And the chance of this for a signature win, Plant has something Plant wants, the fourth belt. The willingness to walk away is part of the game. Yeah, they're just, I think they're just.
Honestly, I think.
Selling a fight, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that Plant needs the payday more than Canelo needs that other belt. Like, I mean,
of course.
You know, so it's like they better start working something out if he wants that big payday, because it's going to be the biggest payday of his career, and he may not get the opportunity again. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. G Funky wants anyone gonna pick Plant to win? I'm taking bets. No.
We broke over here. We're not betting on that.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, not with Canelo. No.
I agree with you, Lee. I agree with you that there's still time to make the fight, and I think it will happen. I really do.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, down the line, but not right now.
Yeah. You know, Canelo's gotta, like, in my opinion, Canelo's gotta, like, you know, I don't really need you. I mean, you really.
That's the attitude he has.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
You want a payday?
Yeah. I mean, it's a payday, and then it's like what Canelo has which is what Lee just said, basically. Canelo has what Lee. No, oh fuck.
Canelo has what Lee wants. Lee, what do you want?
Yeah, Lee. Yeah.
Okay.
Good point, Julius. Good point.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No meat.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that part. Let's talk about. Anybody want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you think about that?
About the meat?
Yeah, like, was it the meat or wasn't it?
No.
Well,
no, I don't. You think so, Nika? You think there was something in the meat?
Wait, what? Oh, the meat. Okay,
like from back. I just
remember the commercial.
There was a soccer team that all tested positive because they had ate some meat in that region. But I don't know. I love Canelo, and I don't think he's. I don't know. I love Canelo, and I don't think that he's doing anything now. So if that was the case back then, you know, I don't know.
To my knowledge, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, you ladies or people in the chat. The U.S. is the only ones that like injects hormones and as this everything is GMO.
Right.
Because
it's banned in a lot of countries.
We want things quick. But I'll tell you, when I travel, and I've been so blessed to travel to different countries, and I eat the food, it's like I'm like, that's an egg. I've never seen an egg like that, or that's a chicken.
Yeah.
It's like everything is raised on the farm. There's nothing injected. Everything tastes delicious in its own natural form, and it's such a difference. It's like sometimes when I go back to the U.S., I kind of even get like a messed up stomach because it's like I've been eating so clean. So, and I know Mexico, you know, when I go there too, it's like everything is like in its pure form. But correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, maybe. Okay. So Carmen said many farmers use. Okay. Okay. You know what?
I'm gonna have
That's
to
good
look
to
that
know. That's good
chemical
to
up.
know.
I don't know
I
anything
had
about
no
that one.
idea.
I gotta write
My
that
husband's
down.
from Mexico, and I never knew that, and I'm gonna have to school him on his country.
Hmm.
Like the way I
Clenbola.
looked at it was, it was very tough for me because I love me some Canelo,
Right.
but I hate a cheater. I'm sorry, I can't stand a cheater. No,
Absolutely.
I can't stand a
Level
cheater.
playing field.
I can't stand a
Yes.
cheater. You know what I'm saying? So a part of me believed him, like, well, maybe he was eating that much meat. But then a part of me
Right.
is like, come on, Tiara, stop being stupid. You just like
Maybe he was
him,
on
so
the
you
meat
don't want
diet.
him to be cheating. You know, like, I don't know, because he's just you're because in my mind, my logic is, dude, you're the bomb already. You don't need to cheat.
Right.
You don't need to cheat.
I agree.
So then I'm like, well, why? So I don't know. I guess we'll just never know.
Yeah, we may never know.
Yeah,
And
because that was a while ago.
yeah, it was a while ago, and maybe he wanted to eat the leanest meat possible, and yeah, so they did. Okay, Eric Morales, and one
Right.
time the soccer team tested positive for it before a tournament. So yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was
So then
talking
it's a
about. There was
possibility.
I was saying that there was a soccer team. They all, I think, almost the whole team tested positive for it.
Oh wow.
So
wow,
that's why I'm
Whoa.
like,
hey,
yeah.
if
So
y'all want to get, well,
So you gotta
I
be
need
careful
to,
what we eating. What we
I
eat, we
need
have
to
to
go
really be
get some of
careful.
that meat because I need to lean up, so I need to go get some of that meat.
Come work out with me. I'll get you lean.
I know you will. I'm gonna be in Florida. Watch.
I'll
Yeah.
get you lean.
Then I'll have to come to Florida
Definitely.
because I need to lean up. Lean up.
Yes. Canelo's been testing. So Canelo's been testing so far. So yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he's been
I think it's
testing.
totally
Yep.
fair. I'm not going to mention any names, but I had a pro fighter that fought for a world title, and I'm telling you right now, the person who he's still a fighter today. He definitely was on something. It was unreal, and now that I see that same fighter,
Wow.
he's not as
Big, strong
or monstrous like he was when he fought my guy. So, but then once this guy won the world title and kept going up, well, here comes the testing. Before that, it may or may not happen. So, yeah. Hey, maestro.
Hey, Maestro.
But it's like, definitely there are some people cheating, and I think that it's not fair. We need to be on a level playing field. If you think that you have to take something to win, then you might be in the wrong sport.
Yeah, you don't deserve it. Yep.
You're in the wrong.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
absolutely.
You can kill someone, and then what happens?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, do you get convicted of murder because you were on something? Like what happens? I'm very curious about that.
yeah, because you're already
I don't know.
risking your life going in the ring just without
Absolutely.
having
Yeah.
anything extra, and then you have somebody that's going in there to fight you that's on some juicing, or you definitely like making it even risking
Yeah,
someone's life even
and
more.
like I'm some of my sons, were fighters. They were pros, and one was in the World Series of boxing. And like to think that somebody on the other side, and my own fighters too, like that aren't my kids. They're my kids, but not my biological kids. But I love them the same. And it's like to know that they're in there with somebody that's juiced up, or to find out later, it's like, oh my gosh, I would have never put them in there. It does a lot. To you mentally do, emotionally, it's not right. It's not right at
But
all.
what I don't understand is, well, I guess this has to go with the cycling of the steroids because
Oh my goodness.
I guess
Yeah.
some people they test negative when they
Yeah.
I guess when they do the surprise testing, and then they actually fight, and then after the fight when they're tested again they test positive. So it's just like, wow, I think that happened to Franchon Cruz.
Franchon, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. When she got her titles took.
when she got, yes.
Yep.
So
Yep.
People
to
know
me and to
how to
everybody
work
else, it
it.
was very
They know how to
obvious.
cheat.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
it
know how
was
to cheat.
very obvious that the lady that she was fighting was on some
Was
type
on
of
something.
Oh
steroid.
my gosh.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
So
And she
I'm just
still
like,
hung in
wow.
there.
Yeah.
Franchon
Yep.
still hung
She
with
did
this
her
woman.
thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was just like,
But I just
wow.
I don't understand why the testing is like that, because it's just like, okay, you tested her after the fight and then she tested positive. So
That's usually
she just sat up there and fought this lady and risked
I
you
know.
know,
Her life.
risk her life by
Yeah.
fighting this lady who was souped up on all types of hormones and stuff like that. And it's just like,
And
well,
that's the
I
thing.
really
It's
feel like the
usually
testing
after.
kind of doesn't really like, you know,
Hmm.
doesn't really work the way it should
It should be
because,
before.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, in my situation with my guy, we had petitioned for him to be tested, but then by the time they were like, maybe whatever, it was like too late. It would already been out of his system. So it was horrible. But so Lee said that Canelo isn't the only one who had issues with clenbuterol. Francisco Vargas is positive for it before his fight with Orlando Salido. So as Eric Morales, Mexican ranchers use it in livestock feed. That's
Oh.
very good to know. Like I really did not know that. I really didn't. So that's some great information.
Yeah, that
Wow.
is good information.
It is. It really is. So I don't know where Tracy went, but
yeah, I
before
think
we wrap it
my
up,
internet's
I
been
want to
acting
know,
funny.
like, I want everybody to give like final thoughts, or is there some last minute things you want to talk about? Nika, we'll start with you. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Mind your business. When it, like when it comes to people's like their
Mental
health and
health.
stuff, and
Yeah,
mind
yeah,
your business. Mind your business.
yeah, yeah.
And take
I
care of
totally
you.
agree. And
So
and so everybody, we're on Nika's YouTube, which I appreciate her so much for allowing the show to be on her page, on her YouTube. Like, thank you so much. So y'all continue to follow and like and
yeah,
share.
so
She has a lot of
all
great
my
stuff.
followers in here, you gotta migrate and subscribe to In the Ring with Christine's page because we're trying to get her
Thank
followers up
you.
over there too.
Please.
So
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. So Tracy, so we're just doing last words, shout outs. Um, what are some of your last thoughts and words you'd like to leave everybody with?
Well,
Shoot.
first of all, don't ever call me a racist on Twitter, or I'm going to come through, or Karen, or I'm going to come through my phone and I'm going to tear you a new asshole. Okay? There's
You heard
that.
it here, guys.
Okay? And then the other thing is, like, I really think that people need to work on having more empathy and understanding about mental illness. You don't see it. It's here. You have to remember, you don't see it.
Yeah.
Do I look like I have a mental illness? Do I? Maybe
No,
I do.
no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Do I? No. I mean, because that is like stigmatism. Like, that is what, because I was born in 70, so I'm 50. And so, like, way back then when I was suffering with anxiety and everything, like, it was like, don't tell anybody, don't talk about it. It doesn't happen. Oh, it's all in your head. It's all in your head.
It is, but
yeah, actually,
Right.
it is in my head. That's the problem. And it took me a long time to come to terms with it. It took me a long time to be like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care if people know. I really think it should be said and addressed. And the more athletes started coming out and talking about it. But when I see that people are tearing down the tennis player, tearing down Simone, even the track star, I can't remember her name, but imagine just being in another country, having anxiety, having no way to deal with it, but having a little bit of weed. Like, panic attacks are horrible. So,
well, even Ryan Garcia, Ryan Garcia,
there's
right. Yep.
And everyone is saying, oh, he's faking it. He's faking it, or whatever.
How do you know who's faking? You know,
like, it drives me crazy. People feel like
idea.
mental illness or mental health like looks a certain way and does not have a look. Right. Like I said,
who was the guy?
Mind your business.
What's the guy? The billionaire who would go around the country tasting the food.
Yeah. Gosh.
This man took his own life.
Yes. He was
mental illness.
What was his name? I know who you're talking about.
That's the thing that we don't talk about. It's a silent killer.
Yes.
People
Yeah.
don't talk about that. You can the ugly things that people say on social media can drive someone to finally take that step.
Yep.
You know, I just it's heartbreaking, you know.
It's
That's
a
somebody's
bitch
child.
to go through.
It's somebody's, you know, daughter, son, aunt, uncle, boyfriend, girlfriend, grandchild. We just got to do better, guys.
Yeah, because we don't want to be like.
Yes, I love Anthony Bourdain.
Because
that's
people,
he was the one that that committed suicide. Yeah.
Yep,
Right.
that's
Anthony
him.
Bourdain.
So
Oh
depressed.
God! Wow.
We were
Yes,
so
that's
depressed. I loved
Yep,
him.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
And he's a billionaire. He's traveling the world. He's tasting all these great foods, meeting all these great people.
Yes.
But we didn't know inside he was depressed. He was suffering from anxiety. He was stressed. We would have never known. And he took his life.
I know.
You never know. Like the things that you say, you have to be kind. You have to be kind.
Have some sort of empathy within you, because then, you know, we've got, you know, there was like 3 kids when my kids were in high school that committed suicide. One of the girls hung herself from a tree in the park that was left for everyone to see because she was bullied. Now, I was bullied really bad also on top of everything when I was younger. And it's just like, you don't like even social media, like you don't think that like Simone is seeing these things or, you know, like
God bless her.
You know, last thing you want is someone to take their life away because
Robin Williams
shit talk, or
Robin
it's
Williams.
not acceptable, or she's this or she's that, or he's this or he's that, or you know what, it's all in his head. We all have shit to deal with. You know, everyone has shit to deal with, but when you have a mental illness, it's like 10 times harder.
Amplified. Yeah.
Yes. So I just I want to talk more about it. I was thinking about other ways to do it, so I'm going to figure that out. But
maybe start a YouTube page.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about,
you know?
doing a YouTube page about doing it, just keeping it real with Boxer Girl. You know, just talking about whatever.
You should. You should.
Because I like talking about all kinds of sports except golf. Yeah. But so my final thoughts are, everyone, try and dig deep in your soul and try and find empathy. Try and find it. It's got to be in there. We are all God's children.
Yes.
And it's got to be in there. I mean, it's got to be. So that's all I got to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Tiara, your final thoughts, final words?
I think my final words would be, you know, something similar to what everyone else has said. You know, we have to be kind. We never know what someone is going through. So if you're always nice and just kind and treat people like you want to be treated, or treat people how you would want your grandmother to be treated, the world would be a better place. You know, just be kind. We are all God's children, and we are all put on earth to inspire people to be their best selves.
Yep. Absolutely. And I just want to say that I thank y'all all so much. Like, we need these conversations. We need to continue doing this. This show is not just about women, but it's put on by women. It's a place where we can like say what we want to say and do what we want to do without any judgment. We may not always agree, but we respect each other and we love each other. And thank you, Rachel, for that. Yes, we're all.
Thank you, Rachel.
We're all this together, and I just so thank Nika for letting us have this platform on her channel. Like, it makes me really happy, and I think that we should all do what we want to do. And I think, Tracy, start your YouTube page and talk about whatever you want to. And I will also say, I want somebody to like write this date down and to like copy my words, because this time next year, Tiara Brown will be a world champion.
Let's go.
God is working. God is working, and let me tell you something. This girl is gonna do amazing things, and you know, you definitely have all of our support, and as you should, because you're totally amazing inside and out. And thank you so much for coming on and talking with us and giving some of our knowledge. So Rachel said, "What's your Instagram?"
Oh, my Instagram, Tiara.anointed.
So I would just say, and I don't know if everybody did this, but
And Christine's my PR, just for everyone who didn't know.
yes, I am a PR.
Shout out to the best
person.
PR in the game.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And when she's
Somebody said
fight,
Tiara Brown versus Michaela Mayer.
Oh, that's coming soon. In the future, trust me.
Trust.
We're 2-2 right now.
Let's go.
Trust. It's coming. But I will say too, she's got some things in the works, and I will be contacting you all because we're gonna need some sponsorships. So y'all can email me, and we're gonna get this party started, most definitely. But I will say, I don't know if everybody did this. I think you did, but we're gonna do it one more time. Is all of my social media platforms are In the Ring with Christine, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Please like, subscribe. I will follow you back. Sometimes it takes me a minute just because I'm here and I get caught up, but I will definitely do that and message anytime about anything. And anything you want to hear on the show, let us know. We'll talk about it. And Tiara, one more time, what are all your social media platforms? So
my Twitter is Tiara Brown Box. My Instagram, I love Instagram, y'all. My Instagram is Tiara.anointed. My Facebook is just Tiara Brown. And for all those that don't know, I have a documentary. It's called Gloves Off. It was produced by Queen Latifah. It plays on BET.
Ooh,
so if you guys want to check that out, it plays on BET, Pluto, Hallmark Channel. I also have an Olay commercial, Voices of the People. You can find that on YouTube.
She was on Oprah.
So yeah, I was on Oprah. Yeah, featured on Oprah. She was giving me shout outs. Shout out to them. It's just good things. It's about inspiring people to be their best selves. It's about letting people know that even if you're not great at something, try it. Keep trying, keep going, keep pushing every day. I've been boxing for 19 years. I'm not great at it, but every day I'm learning. I know I'm really good, but I'm not great at it yet. I still make mistakes. But one thing I do is I continue to chase my dreams every single day. And when I fall down, I get back up, I dust my shoulder off, and I keep going.
That's absolutely. Follow your heart's desires. Absolutely. Tracy, tell everybody your social media platforms.
It's Boxer Girl 1970 is where I'm at. And
short and sweet. Short and sweet.
And don't piss her off because she'll get you.
Don't come.
And she'll tear you a new butthole because she said
she will. She sure will.
I call white people, racist white people, crackers, and it pisses them off.
Well, if you're from Florida, you're a cracker, whether you're black, white, Chinese. Yeah. If you're Florida, you're a cracker.
Yeah, they say that. They say they call in Tampa and St. Pete, they call you that all the time.
Yeah.
Nika, all your social media platforms.
So on Instagram is Knockouts with Nika. Here on YouTube is Knockouts with Nika. On Twitter, I believe it's boxing_birdie81, I believe. I've had so many Twitter accounts, I can't even remember exact.
You get locked out a lot?
No, I get suspended and reported. I probably had 30 accounts, no lying. So I have 30 emails that I've created.
I've slowed down on the swearing, and so I'll put SH and then
I've
learned the star.
But they still get me. They still get me. I've tried that, and somebody still reported me for something not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I was suspended for 7 days. So I know if I get suspended then one more time on this account, then they'll shut me down.
No, you're not. We're not gonna let you. You can't. We need you.
I'm going to use my burner. I'm going to use my burner to cut people out.
Flip phone.
If you get upset with somebody and you want to curse at them, call one of us and we'll just walk you through it. Woosah.
I have a burner. I have a burner account that I'm gonna start using.
Don't call Tracy because you'll get.
Don't call Tracy. You're gonna be suspended quick.
Call me. Yeah.
Call me. I'll pray for him.
Right. So DL
I'll
Image
behave.
Creations said, I got you on fight posters, Tiara. Inbox me.
DLG, they make the
DLG
best.
Image Creations.
I don't know who their person is, but if you go on their Instagram, I mean, they have dope posters. The pictures are dope.
Okay. I'm gonna follow
Who
you
does?
and
She's
inbox
right. She's
me
writing it down.
either on Instagram or on Twitter. Inbox me and we're gonna work it out. Absolutely. We got
the
this.
DLG.
image.
DLG.
Check out their
Okay.
Instagram. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
that logo right there is dope as fuck.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It is. Okay, so good. Thank you so much for that. Ladies, I thank you so much. I got a few things I gotta handle, so I gotta be out. And I thank you all for taking your time. This has been a great show, like absolutely amazing.
And
we
tell
have
our
to get
Olympians
ready
to fight
for
hard today.
Infinite.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Oh yeah.
USA.
Tell our
USA.
Olympians we are rooting for them. You see that flag back there? Tell our Olympians we are with them all the way.
I definitely will.
Let's get it.
Tracy, so D Styles, they have the show coming up.
Yes. Yeah, their show is on I think it just started.
Right now. Okay.
It says 10 o'clock on the dot right now, so they probably starting now.
Yeah.
So go ahead and head over there to
head over there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Power Punchers.
Power Punchers.
Punchers.
Tune into Power Punchers. Thank you so much.
Yeah, they're gonna have
and I
Ryan
appreciate
on
you
there.
all. Much love. Let's keep it going. Talk to y'all next week.
Peace.
Tiara, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Love.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out.